We live, man. Welcome to another episode of the Wild Ooze Podcast. I'm Kenny Muffernoo with my Uso J Biz. We here live on a Friday morning, baby. And J Biz is getting accumulated to get set up. Man, I just wanted to tune in. J Biz don't even know that we're live, bro. Ooh, we live on Facebook. We live on YouTube. We live, bro. We live everywhere, man. We got 20, 30,000
tune in and vibe the drive. Why use? Tune in and vibe the drive. Welcome to Why Use, the podcast you can't refuse. From the heart of Samoa, we bring the news. Entrepreneurs, creators, sharing their views. Listen on Spotify, our hearts in play. Apple's got the vibe, hit record, press play. Live on TikTok, streaming all the way. YouTube, Facebook, we're here to stay. Tales of the hustle, dreams come alive. Building the future, watch them strive. Why use?
Open another window and show the YouTube with the Why Ooze with the J Biz.
Tune in and vibe the drive. Why use?
Yeah, open another window.
And vibe the
Open
drive.
your other window to the YouTube channel. Go to the Why Ooze channel, bro.
Tune in and vibe the drive.
Like go to stay on the window that you're on. And yeah. And then open a new tab. Let the audience see the Why Ooze channel. For those that are tuning in right now, JB is going to go ahead and pull it on the screen right here. We are on a journey to get 10,000 followers. So we advise you and ask you to help us. So look at that, Ooze.
I guess it's been a while, Ooze. I haven't been in a while. So, okay.
You know, when the stocks fell, Ooze, it felt like that you fell too, bro. But it's a good thing to see that you're still alive.
We all fell.
Yeah.
Well, we all fell. But it's like I've been saying. What would you do when everything fails, right?
What? Buy. You're going to keep buying, right? What are you going to do, Ooze?
Well, like if you go back to our podcast, the last recent couple of podcasts, you just DCA, dollar cost average. You keep buying when it's long.
Okay.
It's cheaper. Like we always talk about, like you go to the mall, right? You want to look at all the merchandise, when do you want to buy it? If it's like the regular price or cheaper discount like price. So obviously, we want to buy in a discount. So that's how I see it. If everything drops, you buy it on a discount. That's how you do it. Mm-hmm.
Well, why don't you go down to, if you scroll down to the homepage that you're on.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and scroll down.
Or
scroll up. Right there. Pause right there real quick. If you go a little bit down.
Right.
You see, guys, ladies and gentlemen, when you're tuning in, you're wondering why this great content that we have for the Why Ooze. If you need to buy yourself a merch like how the Why Ooze has a merch right here, we have affiliated links for you guys, man. We have Sprintify or Sprintful or Printy. That's where you click on that link and you get yourself a on-demand store. That link right there will help push the Why Ooze content with some commission. So Opus Clip is where you see all that Opus Clip. That's where you can click that button right there, ladies and gentlemen, and then you can build yourself short clips. Yep. That's where all the Why Ooze short clips come from every platform, man. Then you got Riverside FM. Yeah. Riverside is what we're on right now. Yeah, there you go. Me and Jay Bids on Riverside FM right now. And then when you scroll a little bit more down, you see the Why Ooze podcast. Yeah.
There you go. Support the Why Ooze podcast.
There you go, Ooze. Go ahead and click on the YouTube link, the YouTube icon on it. It's on the bottom. There you go.
Right. There you go.
See what we got here. Boom.
Dang. Okay.
Y'all see that, followers, ladies and gentlemen? We're at 275. So shout out to everybody that has subscribed.
Okay. Well, I need to sign in.
No, you're good. You're good right now. This is just for the entertainment. But first of all, go ahead and scroll down to the playlist right there on the you see that?
RFK Jr. Yeah, there you go.
If you keep going a little bit down. Yeah, we're
All
gonna go.
right,
I'm
we
I'm
got
navigating the listeners and the viewers to the J Bid channel because we also got you on our playlist. So if you go to the playlist section,
okay. Yeah,
yep,
sure. Right here.
there you go. Let's see where you're at,
Yeah,
Oos. Right there. You see the one with the red? It's exclusive financial
right
tips.
here.
Trading stocks bid bitcoins with JBid. There
Right
you
here.
go. You hit that button right there, ladies and gentlemen, and that is where you're going to tune in with JBid. That's where you find all our stuff that we've been affiliated with this USO right here, man. There you go, Oos.
Yeah. Right
As we
on.
built the
Looks
channel,
man.
bro.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. So, you know,
How you guys been, man? How's Why Use podcast been doing, you know? And
oh, bro,
how's my Hamos doing?
man, the Poly Nation is doing very well. Everybody is elevating. You know, Lilo and Stitch just came out, so uh,
Okay.
that was a that was a topic of its own. Have you watched it, or did you know that that was coming out in theater, like the actual
Not
live?
That's a negative. Also, I've been out here in Southeast Asia, so uh, I haven't keeping up with the movies, but I will look forward to go see Fantastic Four and Superman and some of the Mission Possible. Isn't it out already? So it's right down the street, but this is here in Southeast Asia. So little stitch now, man. I never
It
got
hasn't
into it.
reached out. It didn't reach out there yet.
It's over here. I'm sure it is, but just it's not my. One of the movies I won't probably won't see it. It just never piqued my interest. Mm-mm.
Why, Oos? So you're the type that won't even like support the Polynesian movement and stuff, in theater
Well,
and stuff like
I
that.
it's not that like I know like everybody telling me about Moana and all that. You know what? Uh, I don't know. It has to pique my interest. It's not about the Polynesian. It's not about that. It has to pique my interest. Like if it's something good, animation, then I'll go see it.
Damn. Hey, at least you're honest about it. At least you're honest about it,
Yeah, I
Oos.
know everybody Polynesian go see it, but hey, even Moana, I haven't seen it. Everybody, hey, have you seen that? But what? I haven't seen that. Like it's Polynesian Samoan, so okay, but it's not something that they're just I'm just different. It has
You
to pique
and
my interest. Like for example, like people when they ask me, "What's your favorite animation?" Well, you know what? They're coming out with a movie, How to Train the Dragon. That piqued my interest. The real movie, that was a good movie. That's just to me. But
suddenly
other than that,
you're missing the point here. So you do not support the Polynesian, but here you are on the Wahoo's channel supporting us through financial ways, right? So you're not a person to support that way. You're supporting us by helping our Polynesian coconut folks to get information on how to invest. Okay, you know what I mean? I gotta have to
yes,
save you right there, bro,
that's it.
because yeah, I guess I can't be judging folks, man. I think you represent 80% of the Polynesian who does not support the Polynesian movement as far as when it comes to entertainment and sports and movies and stuff like that that we're not used to. I'm not holding that against you guys. It's just like you said it, bro. It has to pique your interest. So, that's
Right.
what's up, man.
That's it.
Now, if I
Yes,
ask you,
Uzo.
if I okay, before we talk into we before we talk about trade stocks and all of that realm, if you was to be informed that it will help like our nephews and nieces in the future by
Uh-huh.
supporting causes like this, by going to the movies to purchase, even if it's not something that you're into, like the Lilo and Stitch movies,
Right.
but it's something to inspire our future generations to become actors or become stunt devils or even a writer or producer and stuff like that. By getting information to like, hey, this is why we're asking you guys to go out there and support the channel. Would you consider that and make you want to go ahead and check it out, or you're still like, if it's not support, if it's not something that piques my interest in, it is what it is.
Oh, definitely. I will be there. If you want to send me an email, hey, this is for the Polynesians and this is for our people, I will be there. There's no doubt about that. I'll be there to support it for our future
Ah,
generation, obviously,
see, so that
because to
go ahead.
inspire, to inspire,
Yes,
to inspire.
exactly.
That's the key. So if you want to send me an email, hey, this is an island film, like yes, I will be there. There's no doubt about that.
So it's so much more of not enough of our Polynesian folks on media is to help promote that, to spread the awareness, huh? I think that's what it is,
Yes,
bro. It's not so much of our polys not trying to support. It's probably the fact that we're not aware of certain stuff, you know. So
right.
that's what's up, bro.
Exactly. Exactly. Like if I would have known, like I know about Moana finally, so I can go see it and all that. But even Little and Stitch, who would have told me like Little and Stitch is about Islanders, right? But if you would have sent me an email and all that, yes, I will be there for the you know, to support it, just for our future generations. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's definitely a good experience when I went to go check out Lilo and Stitch. The I don't want to know if it, I don't want to say that pride. I guess it is. It brought pride or something to like, wow, that's our people up there on the screen, the big screen. Even though that there's controversy, comment on it on the
Right.
TikTok realm and probably IG and Facebook. To me, I looked at it like, bro, this is what's up, man. To especially us coming from the little dot, from the little island, especially you're from the island, understanding like to come into this big continent
Yep.
and seeing
Yes.
your own folks, rather if they're Filipinos, so what if they're not? That's not considered Polynesian. That's still Pacific. They look like us,
Exactly.
man. So uh,
So, but if you notice, I'm not sure if you notice everything media wise and entertainment wise, the Pacific Islanders are coming up. It's almost like they're taking over, right? I don't know. Are they taking over? Well, if you go to Australia, a lot of them they're talking about like the Samoans are the stars. I could be wrong. New Zealand, but now you see a lot of Polynesians are in the films are getting popular, and then everybody like right now, uh, if they some of our friends are like, "Well, are you Samoan? Are you going to do the haka?" I'm like, wait a minute, what? The haka there? It's getting popular. Like, do the haka. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do that. But are you going to do the scream? Like you look,
mhm.
but it's getting popular all over. So if you sit back and look at it and say, are we taking over? Are we coming up? Obviously, we're coming up, but are we taking over? So if you go back to our philosophy talk, this is like, I don't know, what, 2 years ago, talking about there's a mythology about the Mu, like, race. Uh, they were the original human beings. This is besides the Bible. I know about the Bible, but they're the original race that inherit the earth before Adam.
Who is this? What's this called?
It's
Colonized
called the
people?
Mu, the Mu, like race.
Like,
Mu.
how you
They're
spell
the
that?
Hawaiians. They're Mu. If you look it up and Google it,
Mu
we're the
race.
Mu race, and they're the original inhabitant before Adam and Eve. They're the they explain it like they're like half human, half spirit beings. They're hybrids, and they're the one who the original, like I mean, I'm just stating the mythology, but it's up to you if you want to believe it or not. They're like been around for a long time, and they're like the spirit beings that materialize to you to physical beings, and they were before the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans are the Atlantis, like some people talk about it. So the Atlantis is second, and then after the Atlanteans, that's where Adam and Eve came from. But anyway, that's another conversation for another time. But if you look it up, the Mu are Polynesians. The Polynesians are the original human race. They're the most connected to the spirit and divine human beings. But look it up. Just look it up. It's a mythology.
Bro, you
Anyways,
speaking?
but
No. Continue on with that, bro. That just piqued my interest. Oos.
so there are the original in the world, but
Mm-hmm.
they've been silent and been like what do you call it, put down for a long time, but they've been around for a long time. They're at the moon, and they have the moon race, and that's what the Moana talks about. Like there is a ancient, it's ancient. They call it the ancient, like teaching, ancient, like what do you call it, knowledge goes all the way back, and after them, that they're the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans are the Atlantis. People said, was there Atlantis? Who knows, but a lot of people that with ancient knowledge that the Knights Templar referred to, that the Atlanteans was real, and before the Atlanteans or the Atlantis that destroyed was buried by the flood, the moons were before them. There
Bro, you
was
see it right
seven moons.
there? You see the screen right there I got on? You speaking
um
facts, bro. I'm on Google's.
yes, yes,
You said
so
seven
that's
right
it.
there, yo. Yeah, look at
Yeah,
that.
so
Boom.
that's so they were the original ones. So if you go by this, then we are the original, like humans at that time, and we possess. Well, I'm not saying they're possessed more like, okay. Let me break it down based on my research. They can go from spirit to physical. You know what I'm saying?
From
Like
okay.
they can go like spirit, like they're, because according to this myth, according to all this, we're all eternal beings. You know what I'm saying? We're all came from the divine, the source. We just came here to manifest or demonstrate physical beings and choose to become humans. But anyways, but if you yeah, you see that map, the moon, they're the original race of humans before that.
Ooh, that's the
Other than
first
that,
time I've ever heard of that, bro, for real. And the fact
what?
that the
No
fact
way,
that I just
who's
pulled it up.
man?
For real.
I know who's. Come on, man. It's like I've been researching all the things like human history and all that. It's like what? The Polynesians? Polynesians? Now we're starting to come back up. Like it's almost like they're coming back up to almost like take over. But
I've always
we
knew,
can see
bro.
that.
I always
Uh,
knew that I was like a God descent. I've always felt it in my bones, bro, that I was a worthy person and is a human. Like, you know what I'm saying? That my spirit, my inner ego or alter ego or whatever you call it, was like a
okay.
descendant of God. Like I felt like I was like Zeus in all of them. Yeah.
Well,
Bro, I'm not even
no,
playing those. I
that's
just feel
that's
the
later down the road. But
yeah.
just look it up. The moon, the Atlantis. The Atlantis is the one that piqued my interest. The Atlantis, because
But then the Atlantis is the
if
one
you
that led you to the moon. Like,
so yeah, the Atlantis. If you look up the Knights Templar, like the people
mm-hmm.
the Knights Templar been around, they all say they're trying to discover the ancient technology and the knowledge of the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans are the one who carry the knowledge. I know about the Bible, but because and you have to go deep in the Bible because the there are many beings at that time, but they take controls of the earth, and but in other words, to keep it short, according to mythology, we're all eternal beings. We're just here for an experience, and but one of them, like the Gnostic, like we talked about, the Gnostic teachings. You know about the Gnostic. The last time I shared with you, the Gnostic is the one that was silenced by the church, and the reason why I dive into the Gnostics because is they have nothing to do with violence. If you have nothing to do with violence, Did you want to hear that? Like right now, if you have people like that, they're nothing about violence and they just want to share something, and the one with authority will silence them. Wouldn't you want to hear what they want to say? And most likely, they might speak the truth. I'm not saying all the time, but what do you think? The people that nothing violence and go about their way, but they just want to express and say something. But if the people with authority and kill them and silence them, would you think that's you want to hear what they want to say, right? Like you think about in the past in human history. But anyway, I know this is a whole another subject. But all I want to say is just go research like the Atlanteans, the Mu, and the Gnostic teachings because uh, even people now I talk to like every look at the Gnostic teaching, they're the one that they proclaim the original teaching of Christians until now. Anyways, up to you how you go about it. But now we have the research and uh, so many information are available for how do you go about it. But whether you want to be stubborn like us Samoans to go with what we believe in, or to understand the big picture and go forward with what we see who we really are coming up, considering the move.
What do you think from your research? What do you think happened to the Mu people?
Well, if you look at the Eastern philosophy, mythologies of, they talks about the Hindu, right? The Hindu
Hmm.
religion, right? They've been saying we've been around for a long, 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 long time, and there's I mentioned like the zodiac, like calendar, and those zodiac talks about ages, and the ages is measured on the movement of the planets. Like for example, the years, right? 365 days. That's the movement of our planet, right? Like even the day is the movement of the moon and our Earth. They measure that. So there are ages, there are cycles in Earth. There are cycles in Earth. There are cycles in planets. There's cycles in water, right? Like the water goes there, it evaporates, and the water turns into rain. The rain dumps down, it goes back to water, it evaporates. There are cycles created by the higher God or the supreme being. So as Earth and everything we see, there there are movements of the sun, moving all that. Those are all cycles. Like how do we came up with a month, 31 days, 30 days? How do we came up? If you look it up, it's the movement of the stars, movement of the moon, movement of our month, the tilt of our Earth. So there are cycles in our Earth. So if you ask me how we see the future, those are all part of it. I don't know. Am I confusing? Sound confusing related to that.
No, you're good. Let's continue on, bro.
Yeah. So, and then all the cycles is part of a. So, in the Eastern philosophy, compared to, there are cycles of years, and the cycle that we're in, so supposedly, is called Pisces cycle. Pisces cycle. What is the significance of the zodiac like calendar is a fish. So, where do you see the fish? Can you tell me where to see the fish right now? The fish, like symbol.
No,
Who's Have you seen the fish everywhere?
no.
Christians, you see the fish.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the fishing, right? Prior to
Hmm.
that, what is the fish? So let's call it the Pisces, and then you go to the Taurus, like it's the bull. The bull. Where do we hear the bull from? The calf in the Bible.
Roman,
Yeah, the bull.
Roman
Yeah.
goose.
Well, you go back to some of those calendars, the calf and all that. They make, Moses when it came down, it's like, oh, they're building a statue of the bull or the calf or the cow. That's what it is. Anyways, so in all those cycles, they say, I'm just saying, mythology doesn't necessarily mean it's true. They say we're moving to Aquarius. Aquarius is the new cycle coming up. After Pisces, they're going up to the new age. So the new age is coming Aquarius. If you Google ChatGPT, it's knowledge. Knowledge is almost like unified knowledge and technology. It's coming up. And according to that Eastern beliefs, we're all, again, this is all mythology and also ideas and not necessarily true of related to reincarnation, right? The reincarnation is that meaning when you the last time I spoke to you related to your mom, right? And you know, right now we have 3D classes. We look at 3Ds and all that. You know, now with the AI, if they already collect enough information in the future, Kenny Mofolua, we have a podcast, the way you talk, the way you sound, and all that, they can recreate you in the future. What do you think about that?
Damn.
Kenny
Oh shit.
Mofolua, like if you put on the goggles, like what do you call it, MetaQuest and all that, the AI will collect all your information about you, your Google search, your credit card, and all that. They can create you. So, for example, I was just thinking about that the other day. Like, let's say you passed away, and your kids want to summon you. You know, they can really put on the goggles, and AI will recollect everything you said about this podcast, what you Google and all that, and make you sound just like you. So they
But
can
it
go
won't. It
in
won't even be
and
my spirit. It won't even be me. It will just be
well,
AI. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, isn't it almost like the same thing? It's almost like we on a matrix right now. It's a
Mm.
reality, and
Yeah.
then you go back to you go back to my background is as electrician and telecommunication. Everything is atoms, right? Everything is energy. Everything is it's energy that would came from you cannot destroy, you cannot create. It just pass on. Anyways, I don't know how we got distracted on this. We were supposed to talk on financial, but anyway, it
Bro,
goes
just
back to the
continue on with the
moon.
move, bro. The move.
The
That's
moon, the
more
moon.
interesting to me right
Just
now. Oops.
research the moon. The moon is interesting. There were like so if you go back to that moon, there's according to history, there are seven root race of mankind. Mu was the first, and it passed down. I think we're on the fourth root race of mankind. There's two more coming after us, but
Excuse me. Mhm.
but this is a methodology. You look at Google ChatGPT. Hey, are
Right
there
there,
any
bro. Are
like
you looking at the screen?
what is it? What is it? The Moon civilization? What is it? It's
The Mu civilization is I don't know that word concept
so the
reference
scientific
to a
concept referring
mythology.
to mythological laws continent and advanced culture that exists in the Pacific Ocean. That's where we all came from. According to some theories, it's often associated with the Lemurian and the Atlantis and is considered by some to be. So yeah, that's if you go down to that rabbit hole, so many of them. Uh, I'm just researching all of them. I'm still do, and it talks about yeah, and Samoa was part of it. We're the OG, but I'm saying it's not the truth, but it's a mythology. And
It's almost like it's like what you mentioned earlier that
yeah,
those are the with authority tend to
yeah,
quiet people
hush.
down. You
But
know,
so that's right, and that what it is remember I keep saying Gnostic, right? You got to go to Gnostic Christians, right? And this is what I've been wanting to share with you in our platform. When I dive into Gnostic Christians, okay, I'm gonna rock some beliefs here, Christians, right?
Hmm.
Are you okay with it?
True. This is the why ooze. It's why
Okay.
ooze.
Why, Moose? So the Gnostic Christian was silenced by the church. Our last conversation, we talked about that, right? The Gnostic Christians is the one that doesn't believe in rituals and rules of the church. You know why? Because they believe we're all eternal beings that came from the spirit world. I don't know who has that belief. Well, what happened is the creator of this world. Okay, my brother's gonna have a fit with this. The creator of the physical world is Satan.
Okay.
He's the creator of this world is evil. And I'm just sharing how the Gnostic believes. The creator of this world is evil. And
Mm.
all he wants is power, rules, and control. But according to the Gnostic teachings, when Jesus came later on, he freed, he shared the knowledge, Yeshua, to free us from the Old Testament God. He is not the true God. He's one of the what do you call it? The archangel was assigned to create this world and the physical world. Are you still following me?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's why when you talk to atheists, they say, wait a minute, who's the God of the Old Testament? Who's the God of the New Testament? They say there's two different deities. So if you go back to the Gnostic teachings, just go dig into ChatGPT it. They all say they were the non-violent Christians that was silenced by the church because the church wants power and control. But and then if you go back to the Nag Hammadi Library was discovered in 1945 or 1944, they say they're the one who preserved the real teachings of Yeshua or Jesus, you know, Christ. And they're the one who believes in, I know you don't believe it. I remember that, like the truth about reincarnation and all that. In other words, we're all divine beings from the spirit world, but the demiurge or the god of this system that created this physical universe trap us in this physical world. I don't know. Am I losing? Am I confusing
Um,
you? Have I lost you? I don't
no,
know how
just
we came
listening.
to. I just listen. So in other words, when we die here, whether depending what you do now, if you continue to show love and imitate the true God, you'll go back to where we came from. And I know the last time we talked about your mother, right?
Hmm.
Your mother is already in the real life. This is the real life. This is the false physical universe was created by the demiurge. They trap us, all of us here. So that's the Gnostic teaching. But in other words, the Gnostic teaching says Christians, don't kill yourself, but do what you can do to help humans, to free us, to go back where we came from. At the same time, we have to recognize that Demiurge, or the ruler of this world, created seven archons. This is the ruler of this world created seven archangels too, archdemons. They runs everything all over the world. They have, like, for example, in Southeast Asia, they have like a different culture. In Samoa and Polynesia, they have different culture, America and all that. But they all tie to this demiurge that created the physical universe to trap us here. But if we wake up, anyways,
That's almost
I
like
woke.
it's like its own version of the book of Revelations in the Bible. You know how
Well,
the
yeah,
Revelations has this what like seven candles or whatever it's called, and then the beast. It's like its own different version of interpretation of what the Revelation is talking. The Book of Revelation is talking about.
what? Yeah, the Book of Revelation talks about it. Almost didn't make it to the canon. Actually, it was in Egypt that they found the Book of Revelation. That decided to add it in the last minute, and the John. Um, so it talks about John's vision of the future. Now, some suggest that John was talking about the age of Pisces moving on to, or Taurus moving on to Pisces, and now in the age of Pisces moving on to the age of Aquarius, meaning a different age. And how do you go about that? Well, back then it was all rule oriented, and then we move on to Pisces, so all about like beliefs and all that. And now we're moving on to a unified technology, unified beliefs because of technology. And anyways, these are all mythologies and things that you can look up. Uh, but hey, if you find it interesting, we can have a podcast about it based on my research because I've been researching about it. But all I gotta say is for the Christians, dive into the Gnostic Christians. Yeah, for a long time, I'm against those. For 20 years, I'm against the Gnostic Christians. Do you know about the Gnostic Christians? Like,
No,
like,
I remember
no,
you.
I'm just curious.
I remember you say that, bringing it up, and then I'm just like, who the heck is that? But just to go off of what you're saying is, that's why I wanted it. It's another reason or another element of why I wanted to have a podcast. Just a platform to have everybody, instead of being judgmental about the conversation or whatever
Yeah,
individuals are talking about, bro, you just share what you studied and the conclusion that you came out with. Because me personally, I also feel like that we as human race, whatever country you're at,
yeah,
the study that you were brought up to be, whether it's in education, the school education
yeah,
system that is taught and that taught us, especially us in the U.S., there's got to be certain facts and like scientists, like scientific conclusions for something to be considered or dubbed. Oh, that's real, or that's the truth. But
yeah.
when people do their own research, like I'm not saying this is something that I'm into, but just through my own experience and what piques my interest with my travels in Asia, I didn't go at it whether I was in China, Korea, or Japan, or even in the Philippines and Guam, and there, any of those areas, Thailand too. I didn't go into into those countries feeling like my beliefs of Christian was the only way. I went there with an open mind. And because I went there with an open mind, I was able to see a lot of different diversity of different race. And
Okay.
they were not all Christians, but the way that they lived their life was the same way that Christian folks practice their life. And
Right.
then it made me question, is Christianity the truth? Well, for me, it's still up in the air because the only true way for myself to know is when I actually die. And if there is an
Yeah.
afterlife, if there's going to
Right.
be an afterlife, if I'm going to be reincarnated, or if I'm going to come into this world in a spirit, only one can tell. Only the dead can actually confirm if we're even talking about which religion or belief is the true essence of life.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I'm not lost, bro. I was
Uh,
just more in
no,
tuned and interested in
and
the fact
that's
that you're
and that's we
you're
share these
putting it.
things. Yeah, it's like there's nothing we just sharing, right? Like even
Mhm.
to our Polynesian and all that. The only thing that like I will say this, for example, in my belief, I didn't believe in afterlife, but because of my field, electricity and all that, I want to study it. There's no going against that because there's evidence about harnessing energy of electricity and atoms. Everything is connected, right? If the last time that we talked about, like, how can I communicate to you wirelessly right now, right?
Energy. Yes.
Energy. So everything is connected. It's the particles and all that. So there's energy that comes in and out everything. And energy, according to scientifically fact, according to what do you call it? What do you call it? The what's the law? First law of thermodynamics. You cannot create or destroy energy. It has to pass along from different forms. So meaning energy can comes from somewhere, the source, God, or whatever it is, and it passed down, it breaks itself on. So if you look up first law of the thermodynamics, that's scientifically proven, and that's because I use that for communication. Okay, well, I set up like antennas and receivers. Like okay, how many bandwidth I can get from it? Like you okay, how fast is your internet? I mean,
It upload. I want to say within a range and download. I'm not exactly sure, but I seen it. I wanted to be at
okay, so
speed.
did you get did you get two like version like 5 point
Yes.
something
Yes.
gigabytes and you have it like 2 point. So what is the lower one for? Like let's say you have
If
five
it
gigabytes.
says if it's slow, if the speed slows down, then it kicks into that slow one, so that way there's still internet going.
Okay, I'll share this with you because I do internet back home.
Hmm.
The lower frequency of the internet is you can go farther. You can go in farthest part of your house and you can grab that internet. The fastest one, like a 5 point something, is the closest. You can get the fast internet, but you have to be close to the web. You know
To
what I'm
the
saying?
modem,
To
right? The
the
Wi-Fi
modem,
modem.
yes, to the modem.
Yes.
Because what happened is when you have walls around the house, it would disrupt that fast internet. But the lower frequency of your internet will vibrate through the walls, and the wall
So
vibrates. So the walls vibrate too in the lower frequency. Let me be clear. The lower frequency of your web vibrates longer through the walls. So meaning it's almost matched the frequency of your walls. So that way you can go as far as you can the other part of the house. That's why you have the lower frequency of your web of the internet. 2 point something. You feel me? So
yes.
like for example, in your house, if you are way out in the other room, connect to your lower frequency because that's where you get the fastest internet. Because why?
Interesting.
Why? Because the lower frequency vibrate to everything. Because the wall vibrate the low frequency and everything. So, but if you have the fast 5 point something like frequency gigabytes, it only stays within closer to the web. That's to help whoever have those are coconut heads related to internet. I mean, I'm
And
just
then you
sharing this.
can actually still lay that as an example why energy when it comes to beliefs in religion.
Yes, yes, and that's why I look into it because that's my field, and so because of that, then I realize, wait a minute. Like for example, um, those information carry on, so that we can be able, according to mythology, I can be able to communicate to you, Kenny, telepathically. But what happened is, in the Mu and Atlanteans, they were able to do that without cell phone. And
Mm.
if you look up Nikola Tesla said, I can communicate with anybody telepathically. The problem is its imperfection, and because of the control of the system, limited us to believe that we can't do that.
And when
You
you're
still
saying
with me?
system, you're basically So he's basically Tesla is basically saying like those that are in power at that time, rather
Yes,
that are governors or
right now.
kings and queens.
Yes, because when we're growing up, we're all brainwashed to a certain system, culture, and that's why from the age of 0 to 7, our brains vibrate in a theta low frequency that records everything growing up from as a baby to 7 year old to record everything from our culture, religion, and all that, and language and all that. So, and beliefs and system, the system that we grew up with. And you have to remember this whole system of the world was created by this demiurge to control. And that's why I'm leaning toward to the agnostic that they are in power to control and create fear to us. um, so that's why Jesus came to try to free us up, anyways. But at the same time, if you look up ChatGPT and look up the young ones that they can recall their past lives, you know, look up the people
Hmm.
that it's only that certain age from zero, the baby to 7 years old, they can be able to recall. They say there may experience thousands of them. They say, "Oh, I used to live in Japan. I used to. That's my mom and all that," because they reincarnate, you know, to those. But at the same time, in that age, you're able to learn and to be programmed, download. You know, Bruce Lipton said, a doctor said, you're being programmed from age as a baby is 0 to 7. Once you download
What
all
is
this,
that called? What is that exercise called, or that story that you're talking about? What you're
okay,
talking about just now? What is it called? I'm in ChatGPT. I'm about to look that up. From 0 to 7.
0 to 7. Oh, look up Bruce Lipton programming, learning, or downloading information as a baby from Bruce Lipton from data or brain waves. So we can put it all together. Mm-mm. Well, Uzo, what happened to our investing? We were supposed to talk about that. I don't know how we ended up this.
Well,
Like,
I wanted to talk about something that it's a podcast, bro. Maybe that's something
okay,
that it just happens to connect with what you're piquing my interest in, something that I actually like. So let me see here. It appears there may be some confusion regarding Bruce Litton in relationship to wave data. There is no widely
okay.
recognition featured figure by the name associated with neuroscience or brainwave research. However, there is a Bruce Linton who is certified registered nurse. Nope, that's not the one. SCR.
Bruce Lipton,
Bruce, as in Bruce, and then Lipton as in Lipton.
Lipton, yeah. And also search for Raymond Moody. Raymond Moody, a doctor. Raymond Moody, doctor. He's a researcher of. Hmm,
Okay, so I
he,
did find brainwave states and subconscious programming. Dr. Bruce Lipton, a developmental biologist and an author of The Biology of Belief, emphasizing the profound influence of brainwave states on some subconscious programming and overall well-being. So, as individual matures, their dominant brain wave states shifts from it's like a delta, which is 0.5-4 Hz deep
yeah, low
sleep.
frequency.
And then
Mm-hmm.
you have one that says theta, which is 4 to 8 Hz light sleep, deep meditation, and early childhood. And you have alphas who are from 1 to 8 that has relaxed wakefulness and clarity. Then you have beta from 20 to 30, active thinking and problem solving. And then there's us in our age from 30 to 100 that we're the gamma, high level information processing and consciousness.
Right.
But you're basically offer from that age of Delta, and also, well, this is different. I like what you were going at with like
Yeah. So
certain
look at
age.
Bruce Lipton talks about the lower frequency brain waves programming. So if you can ChatGPT that, then it goes in deep more about that.
About he talks about the lower what?
Lower frequencies as a baby from 0 to 7 year old age. So the lower frequency brain waves. I don't know if you can put that together to type it in.
You could.
I'm sharing you. I'm sharing you what I've been researching for since the last time we talked.
Let's see what it has for us as I'm researching that. That's interesting. Still popping up this thing. What I just read to you, the predominant from birth to age 2 associated with deep sleep, dominant from age 2 to 6 linked to imagination and rapid learning. And at age from 8 to 12 emerges around age 7, associated with calm alertness.
Okay, so if you type in Bruce Lipton downloading program, let me see even. Let me see if I can do it. Oh man, this thing is slow. So, well, I can't do it right now. So anyway,
It's
what
how we are all programmed
program?
at birth.
Yes. Well, everything else was programmed. I program in culture, program in knowledge, program in mathematics, and all that. So, and that's how it is. And what it is according to Eastern mythology. So I like to use that because to separate that, you have to necessarily believe it. That they believe that we all incarnated back on earth because we haven't reached a certain state of enlightenment. You see what I'm saying? And when Jesus came to help us to show love and reflect it. That's how you reach enlightenment, and that's how you move up to a progression and free from the demiurge, the god of this physical universe. So, how do you find the truth? To me, how do you go about it? It's finding patterns. Remember the last time we always talk about you have to look for patterns. You do research, see a pattern. What's a pattern? Okay, I see a pattern here. All right. Okay, how's it related to um nature? Is it matches with nature? That's how you discover the truth, right?
Hmm.
So, but at the same time, we learn a lot of things growing up, but we want to find the truth. What is the truth? Just learn everything from the east and the west, and then we put it together and try to match it with nature. Like, what is nature? Well, the law of gravity. Well, you stand here, you jump down. Well, you can't really jump from 100 feet over there. You're gonna die. That's nature. You know, respect the law of nature. So that's it. Go about it. So that's how you go about finding the truth. So, and then if you listen to a lot of people, it's like, okay, how do we know we have the truth? Well, many people claim what we have right now is been programmed all the way from our upbringing. Okay. According to the Eastern religion, we're going to Aquarius from Pisces to that's the what do you call it? We're moving forward to the new age of understanding. And because of technology, now might have the unified technology to understand a lot of the new generation coming up, maybe better than us.
So let me ask you this then, Us. Let me
Yes.
ask you this, man. Let's say if 90% or 95% of our behavior is programmed before age 7,
Uh-huh.
who is actually running your life right now? Or at age 7 year old
Uh-huh.
version of you? Or is it a 7 year old version of you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's that's what they said according to well, based on looking at it.
Yeah, just for
When
your
it
own,
came to
just this is just conversation.
yeah,
It's like tell me your
conversation,
honest
yeah.
feedback. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
my honest feedback, you
Yeah.
know what? If based on the Eastern religion, we're reincarnated, right? We're coming back, and you have some certain knowledge of your. They call it previous life, right?
Okay.
You know, yeah. You know, if you look at but the kids, they have previous life, but at the same time, you are reprogramming a new life and the culture where your upbringing is. So now you have a new program. You downloaded a new program, whether Samoans, white, or Indian, whatever it is. So when you grow up, and they said, if you look it up, ChatGPT, it say 95% of our life, of our personality, this being is run by 90% of our subconscious. Not even 5%. 95% is of subconscious, meaning our upbringing. Mhm. So the whole goal of this life is trying to change our program to be better. That's the name of the game. At the same time, try to do good and help people. Help yourself and help other people. That's the name of the game according
Uh,
to according to the Eastern religion, according to Christianity, the Christianity talks about
yeah.
doing that.
I just call because I'm on my lunch break.
I'm talking to Jay Bid right now. We're streaming on live.
Oh, the baby eat?
Yeah, she ate already. We went to OMG.
Or you so like, it's not good. That means 2 OMGs in 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, kidding. I love tell her to go wash her butt.
Okay. Lalo
Later
Faku
on,
Jay
like
Bid.
around 2 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, bye.
Love you, hon.
Bye.
That's a good take on that one, bro. So
So,
what about what if the brainwaves are like downloading apps? What kind of apps you unknowingly download as a kid?
so as a kid, well, you can't go back as a kid, right?
Well, but yeah, but if you was a kid and knowing what you do know, what kind of app you think you would download at that time because of what you know right
Well,
now?
I don't think 90% you can't be able to help yourself as a kid because you're gonna grow up wherever your parents you are, and you're gonna observe your parents is. The name of the game is you're gonna learn whatever culture you'll become. But in the end, according to philosophy, is how when you become as an adult to unprogram your conscious subconscious.
Okay, so let's twist it then. Let's say you grew up in a chaos, scarcity, or
Yes,
trauma, right? What does that mean
everyone,
for yeah? So
everyone, everyone has trauma. I
yes,
realize that. It doesn't matter. Even as a Christian and a reverend and a Protestant, I realize it doesn't matter. We all have trauma, and in every single thing, whether you have it, well, that's it all depends. You have a high trauma like this or little trauma. We all have trauma in life.
okay.
It's just part of this system that was created based on the archons and the demiurge. That's how he does things.
So can it actually be changed?
Yes, you can be able to change. You have to reprogram it.
Okay, so
And
what's one of the
remember,
trauma? what's one of the trauma that you experienced as a child where you changed it
Well,
so that way that trauma was gone now, and you find yourself,
wow.
in a good space. See, that's a good
Well, that's
conversation right there. It
that's
was,
a hard one, man.
you know, what what is
but
what is one
what
of the
is
many traumas that JP
uh,
can share with our audience? I'll share one with you when you're done.
so let me. That's a hard one, and it can
Okay.
be sensitive related to
Well,
that.
let me tell you
Like
mine.
there's so many trauma. But let me. Okay, I'll share experience. In Samoan culture, it's really different. I'll
Yes.
share that, right? And would you present trauma? Yes, it is. I mean, I hate to say to because if you look at other cultures, they're all different. And what I wanted to share with our fellow coconut heads, uh, same as the whites and blacks and all that, we are not the standard of human beings. But try to recognize that they're all part of the flower, combined flower of cultures. Whether you're white, black, and all that, they're all beautiful. Meaning, like as you go to Samoan, you go to Europe, you go to Asia. It's like wow, they all have different culture, but you have to learn to appreciate it, and you all can put it all together. That we're all one. It's you just born in a different culture, and recognize that we're all humans and we're all part of love and we're all came from the same source. That we're all love. That's how I try to see. But in the trauma that you talk about is Polynesian. I know a lot of Polynesians going to go back. Wait a minute, you're not part of it. No, I love a Polynesian, but you have to be above that. You have to be above that and see things from higher up of all the cultures. You have to be recognized. We are. Let me say this: as the Eastern believes, we are gods. We all part came from the divine source. We're all part of. We all going back there as a divine source. There's no culture, no sex, no. We all one. We're just here for an experience. And what happened is these demiurges try to divide us as culture, as religion, as belief, and everything you see in this world is to divide us as one. That's the bottom line of this belief of this demiurge is to divide us. But we're all one. We're all one. When we go back, it doesn't matter what religion, what beliefs, where you're from, we're all one. That's how you see it. So the trauma that I said is all cultures. I say.
Mm.
Does that make
So
sense, Bruce?
that makes sense. It's the culture, right? So now going back to childhood, you have a brother, right? So why is it that two kids that grew up in the same household but end up with totally different beliefs and results? Why you think
Well,
that, Oos? Why, Oos?
why, Bruce? Because it all depends how you what you accept and what trauma you've been through and how you
Hmm.
go about it and analyze it. You can choose to be stubborn, you can choose not to be, you to accept it. So let me share you a paper of the okay, Eastern. Let me go back to really deep information. You can Google it. There's something called the hand. There's a hand documentary. The hand documentary is called These Are the Bloodlines. The hand documentary I can share with you, I'll send it to you. The hand documentary talks about there are the bloodlines of the elites and they're the bloodline of the divine. They've been here for a long time and they say they're the part of the Luciferian group. They control the whole world and they manipulate everything in this world. And their whole purpose on this world, they said, you know, they know about Yahweh, right? The God of the Bible. I'll just share this as information. Yahweh is the one that runs this whole everything. And Many people call. But the Luciferians, they call themselves the negativity, positive negativity. The Luciferian talks about, I'm bringing negativity and we're here to kill people and everything negative. And I'm bringing negativity to a life. And you know what they say? Negative. I'm
What
doing
about
the
it?
work, God's work. They said, I'm doing God's work. But what? If you read the paper, said, because I'm bringing in troubles in your life so you can wake up to recognize who you are and who you need to become. Like, what? I don't understand that. Like, wait a minute. It was like, said, and then Lucifer said, we're sent way from above. They said, according to the law of one. This is, I don't say. And not just only the loved one. You see this in Eastern religion. They said the Luciferian said, "We run the system too," and they said, "I'm bringing in disaster and problems to your life." And the reason why is to make you wake up, to make you recognize that you need to wake up and see who you really are and get back to the source. That's how that is. So if you have problems in your life, and if you go back to, I want to see, and the scripture speaks about that, even though in the Bible, and talks about, let me finish your training. Let me see, finish your training. Let me look it up. Um,
As JB is looking it up, I'm gonna play a little commercial for
okay,
everybody as we
so
wait. You
okay,
ready?
you ready?
I'm a
Yeah. So
okay. Go for it.
First Peter 5:10. But after you have suffered a little while, the God of all undeserved kindness, who called you to his everlasting glory in union with the Christ, will himself finish your training. He will make you firm, he will make you strong, he will firmly ground you. But if you notice the verse 10, it says, but after you have suffered a little while, you know? So
Hmm.
let me read that. There's a different Bible about that. So let me see the King James said, but the God of all grace, who hath called us unto his eternal glory by Christ Jesus, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect. So, like I said, the Luciferian says, we're here to give you trouble in your life, to make you suffer.
The NIV says, "And the God of
And,
all grace,
yes, okay.
who called you to His eternal glory in Christ, after you have suffered a little while, will Himself restore you and make you strong, firm, and steadfast."
Yeah. So, so the Luciferians, so if you notice the scripture, it promised that after suffering, you have to suffer. And they say they're part of was sent by the higher, the divine, to bring us suffering, to make us wake up. And those suffering to train us to be better people, to train us to better beings, to train us to remember who we are. So we need to return back to the source. That's why they're here. I mean, I'm just sharing you Eastern combined to agnostic and all the beliefs. So when you go through problems, just recognize they're trying to help you to get better in life. Just don't jump off the cliff. Well, you can if you want, but it's part of the training. And if you don't suffer, then you're not going to gain any results in life. And that's part of the beliefs, Gnostic and Eastern beliefs. And it's recorded in the Bible. That's how it is. And you know, guess who suffered? Think about it. Who was our foremost leader that was suffer and died? Doesn't it make sense? Jesus Christ,
Mm,
right? And
Mm-hmm.
he said, if I'm suffering that, guess what? They're gonna do the same to you. Because what? We need to face those so that you can be better. Wake up, recognize. But anyways,
So,
again, we can.
so with that, I have another question of like, and this is just again just a general conversation, right? Do you believe that society is intentionally programming kids through media, school, even TikTok? Or if the theory
Yes,
is
yes.
hypnotic, is the screen time today the new hypnosis?
Well,
Hypnosis.
I I think that's
Hypnosis.
hypnosis. Yes, I had to say yes into that regard because it is, and this just wasn't us to be programming that, but you notice our kids, everything is programmed. And look at the data, right? There's a Netflix about that that many of the kids nowadays have faced depression more than ever in the young age. Because why? They want likes in their social media. So yes, it's part of the program. And the challenge is, how do you go as a parent to deal with it? Well, if you there's a program that came out that I don't know what is, even the one who created this monster can't even help their kids. They can't even. So what do? And I don't know how to help your kids to. It's all part of the program related to this system. But I think Uh, if I, as a parent that have kids, you have to really spend a lot of time with your kids and share them what's good and bad. Don't just hide them from, like, I know us Samoans and Christians, we like to hide the bad to focus on the good. But if I was a parent, if I have kids, I'll show them the bad too, so they can see. And the reason why I share that is because if there is this powerful being, he let us see the bad and good. And we have to make our choice in life in the end. That's what like we have to do. And just like Buddha, the Buddha, Hinduism, like they'll try to shield him as a prince until he went out and recognized the earth, the world is a lot of suffering. So that's why he turned around and tried to be a Buddha. So that's what I would say to our kids that as a parent to show them good and bad and help them to make the right choice. At least show them both worlds. But I'm not a parent, so that's a tough decision, and that's up to you, parents. And I have to give credit to respect to all of you. You know how to go about it.
Maya. So I'm gonna take this time to reach out and talk to the audience of the YOs and summarize what JB has shared with us today. Did you know that from birth to age 7, kids' brains are mostly in what's called the theta wave state? That's basically a light hypnotic hypnotic state. They're like little sponges that just soaking up everything. There's no filters, there's no questions. Whether you see them or hear it, it goes straight into the subconscious. Subconscious. It's how I use.
Yes, yes, that's it.
Yeah. And like he
So,
mentioned, and like he mentioned, man, here's the scary part about that. What's the number one thing raising our kids today? It ain't parents, it's screens. Screens like YouTube, TikTok, Netflix, all these stuff, man, all of that stuff. And the science backs it up. Screen time has been proven to increase data activities, especially in kids. So it's like they're in a hypnosis all over again. And TikTok is the hypnosis. That's their that's what it is, man. It really is. I see that in real life, bro. Not only just TikTok, all the social media platforms, IG, Instagram,
yeah,
YouTube, whatever that your kids are into, Twitch.
yeah,
It's crazy,
yes.
man. So think
But
about that, guys.
yeah, and
The
then
content that we're
for a
feeding.
Yeah, for the long time, even if I'm a believer of the Christ and the Bible, if people will dive into the Bible, they realize that the God of the system is not the true God. The God of the system is evil. But the Nazi Christians can take it a further part that they said the God of the system is the demiurge, is saying that created everything uh, to trap us here. I know, but you decide to do that research. But again, when Jesus came, that was the true light from the source. He is above this God of this system. He came from the true God, the true source, to help us try to free us from this world. But please do your research. Look at the Gnostic teachings and look at the Nag Hammadi library. And these are the teachings that were silenced by the church. And we have the Council of Nicaea, Council of Trent, and all that. Then that's what we have the Bible right now. But if you want to go back, there's many, things that was right before us. But at the same time, we were programmed to stick to what we believe in and what we believe in churches and Christianity. But all I ask is just do the research. Now we have information and technology to do that. So uh, find the truth. That's all it is.
There you have it, guys. Man, that was our little conversation of 1 hour and 16 minutes about what is
Hi,
this,
Sully.
religion or belief or
Wow.
something like that?
I don't know what happened. We were supposed to talk about like financially. It went way off course to philosophy and I don't know
Hey,
religion
Oos,
or I don't
that
know.
was warming you up, bro. That was me warming you up because it's been a while. You've been gone for like 3 months, brother. So we brought you on the
Okay.
platform to talk about right now. Now the current state right now with President uh, Trump and everything that's going on with people he selected
Yeah.
in the leadership. As you know, the stock has been plummeting, and a lot of folks, a lot of businesses, and those that are shareholders, investors, has backed out. A lot of
Yeah.
places. It's out there,
Right.
bro. So the number one thing that our audience has, man, and our concern is, bro, should we be pulling out because we feel like there's no more time to invest, man? What is your take on that, Oos?
Okay. Yeah, that's a great question. You're not the only one and friends like asking me the same question. I have friends on the street. Hey, the market crashed. What are you doing? Okay. My simple answer is dollar cost average. As the last time we talked about that is uh, BCA, meaning buying every month. If it goes down, buy it. Keep buying it. So let me share you a chart. I don't know if I can share with you. I want to share you the facts related to this investing, right?
It's all
Police,
yours, bro.
how do you go about
You just hit share like you did the last time.
um like okay,
And while Jay
okay,
Beat is
let me
getting that
see.
rolling up, as Jay Beat is getting all that set up, we're gonna play a little music.
Powered by Riverside.
And if you want to sponsor the Wild Oops, subscribe, man. We are looking to get to 1,000, baby.
All right,
Yeah.
those. All right, those. So you see the chart.
Nope. I see our screen. You shared our screen. You got to select the actual screen that you want to share.
Okay.
As he works on
Uh,
that, we'll continue to play some music as Jay Big sets up the screen share.
okay.
Take your time, brother. No rush.
All right.
You see your screen? There you go.
Okay.
All right, it's all yours, brother.
All right. So I don't know if you see well,
Oh, you went out.
you
Go
see,
back to the. There
okay,
you go.
you see the screen right here. So the simplest way to invest, if you want to still invest, is you continue to stack buying dollar cost average. Like let's look for example, right? This is S&P 500. This is the year 2000. Who was alive in 2000? I don't know. So they went up. The price of S&P 500 was 142, and it went down 89. Look at that. From 142 to 89. You know what? What happened? Everybody, oh, what? There's pain. I can't. Like the stock of S&P 500 is $90. I'm losing money from 142. But if you keep buying, eventually the market will turn around. And you know why? The market is the engine of all the economy of the world. Just remember that. All like the economy of the world, your shopping, that's it, the stock market is part of it. That's the engine. So if you buy here, you buy low. You see, like say for example, 148. You buy here 91. You know what happened? You bring your average down of your buying. You keep buying every week or buying every month. You know what happened? You keep going. You went back to 151. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, my money's going up. You keep buying and drop down. You know what happened here? 2008. Remember what happened 2008? Who's what happened
Yeah,
2008?
replenished.
What?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah. So that was the worst market crash since. So S&P 500 was 153 and went all the way down to 86. See? So, and people like, oh, I'm going out, I'm cashing up. Don't sell S&P 500. Just keep buying. Buy low. It's a discount. You like discount? You go to shopping. There's a lot of clothes like 50% off. You buy it. So that's how you see the market. You buy low. You know what happened in 10 years, 15 years? Look at this. Look at this chart. It went way up. Look at that. It keep going up. It keep going up. It's still going up. You see what I'm saying? It's
That's
always gonna go
crazy.
up. That's all I want to say. So if you want to buy at 2000, you keep buying every week, or let's say you keep buying every month, you would have profited by now, and you keep going way up since then. So my advice for all the financial people in investing, keep buying, keep buying. And this is the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 averaged 10 to 12% annually. You hear me?
I'm listening.
10 to 12% annually. But I do want to share you a table. Let me see, ChatGPT. You can cut this out. Um, I want to show you a chart because people ask me about real estate and the stock market. Let me guess, it's better, real estate or or the stock market?
Real estate. I'm gonna say because that's what we want in any country is to own a whole bunch of properties.
All right, let's do the math. This is fact, right?
Yeah,
We
how
all right.
Donald Trump and other people was able to make their money. Robert Kiyosaki and all of them, buying properties
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, right.
Airbnb,
I get it. I get
a
it.
lot of people trying to get that, man. They're
Uh,
trying to get a whole bunch of properties, man.
yeah, mm, and like I said, yeah, it's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, if I had the funds too, I would just keep buying property. I mean, that's how, what's his name? What is his name? The, what is his
Yeah, there's
name?
nothing wrong with that, but they are turning around. They are what do you call it? Yeah, but I want to show you some facts. Here it is, right here. You see my screen?
Yeah. When
Okay.
comparing real
So
estate to the SP 500.
yeah. So you see real estate 8 to 10. Let's take that. S&P 5 10 to 11. Hey, you know what? But the best thing about S&P 500, what is the S&P 500? You ask me what is S&P 500? Is the stock market. All you have to do is look up a ticker. You can buy SPY or a VOO. Okay, let me show you the screen. SPY. See right here? SPY right here. You can just buy this and keep buying that every week, and you can outperform every single thing in the market. Or it's the same thing with VOO. Is Vanguard B00. It's the same thing. Watch. Max, look at that. You still go up. Just keep buying.
And what are those
Now,
dentists? What are those stock options like? Who are those guys? The one you just mentioned, those
oh,
two
these are
stocks.
the S&P 500. These are the people that the hedge fund that created these ETFs, basically. They mimic, and when you think about, let's for example, analyze the S&P 500. Those are the 500 best companies in the United States or in the whole world, and it's already diversified. So let's think about. Let's look it up then. Um, let's say um, S&P 500 top 20 companies, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, let's look at that. And the reason why you want to buy the S&P 500 because you're diversified in top 500 companies. So here it is. Um, Let me see what it. So it shows you 30% information technology, 14% financial, um, a series is diversified in healthcare, industrials, energy, utilities. So right here, okay, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. So if you invest in S&P 500 or SPY or VOO, you're currently investing to Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Google, Broadcom, Tesla, Berkshire Hathaway, Alphabet, Google again, Chase, JP Morgan, I don't know about Eli Lilly, Visa, we have a Visa card, ExxonMobil, Costco, MasterCard, United Healthcare, Netflix, Walmart. So you see, it's all the most popular company in the world. You with me still?
Yes, I'm there, bro.
Okay.
My
So
my
if you buy that ETF SPY or VOO, you're basically diversified to all these companies. So in 10 years from now, it is what do you call it? 10 to 12%. And I want to show you. So you're doing good. This is traditional, but let me add something to this. And now, as you know, I'm a Bitcoin guy. Let me add ChatGPT, add Bitcoin, Bitcoin to compare. Let me see what it does. All right. So you see where I'm at? You see my screen?
yeah.
So who's winning this race?
It looks like it's the S&P 500 is.
10 to 70? Really? You see my error?
Oh, you talking about? Oh, Bitcoin is.
Yes, exactly. So for those who ask me, what should I buy right now? And for the next 5 to 10 years, look at Bitcoin. And I own Bitcoin. Look at this. Bitcoin outperformed S&P 500, outperformed real estate too. And when people, and if you please, YouTube, people are moving away from real estate to buy Bitcoin. The people that understand Bitcoin. There is a producer of Hollywood. He owns multiple Airbnb. He owns a $2 million home, and he sold all his Airbnb to buy Bitcoin. And you know what? He said it's the best decision of his life. You know why? Because look at this. Bitcoin outperforms S&P 500 and also outperform real estate. Come on, you can't be. Do have to like share the math. So if you invest in Bitcoin right now, like I share with you, like just buy Bitcoin and nothing else. In 5 years from now, you'll outperform every single else. You don't need a hedge fund. You don't need a financial advisor. You don't need all those people that try to sell you nonsense like, hey, you know what, the Morningstar or all that. No. Bitcoin is a hedge fund itself. And that's why everybody is jumping into it. And the math doesn't lie. So if you remember me and you, we talked about this 3 years ago, and Bitcoin was 20,000. Now it's 105. Am I still owning Bitcoin? Yes. I quadruple, what's it like, 4 times? Quadruple my returns. Would I sell my Bitcoin? No. I just share with my use right here. I borrowed against my Bitcoin. I want to share that with you. I don't know if I can. Coinbase, I send my Bitcoin there and I borrowed against it. I got a loan in less than 5 minutes. I don't have to go to a bank. It's a crypto loan. Borrowed against Bitcoin. I have money. You know what I did? I bought more Bitcoin. I copy MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy is the best performing company the last year of every company in the world. And I'm not kidding. So just look it up. Oos, you still there? Am I
Yeah.
talking nonsense? I'm
No,
not talking
you're
nonsense.
you're not
Okay.
talking nonsense, bro. But I want to play devil's advocate right now and counter
Yeah,
everything that you have just shared with me
do it.
for the
Yes.
sake of entertainment purposes and also to try to convince me otherwise. All right. So I'm gonna dumb this
Yeah.
down as much as I can. You and
Okay.
everyone else out there that does the investing, buy S&P 500, invest in Bitcoins, real estate, never loses. You all of you guys out there. Let's think about this though. Let's take a second. For the S&P 500, they're not for broke people they're not. They're just not for broke people. It's safe, but it's slow. You put in your money
Yes.
today, and maybe, just maybe in 30 years, I doubt it, that's great if you're rich. But for us that need that money right now, you might want to try making other moves. That's the only reason why I kick back on the S&P 500.
Okay.
Then we go into the Bitcoin, right, Oos? It's like a
Yes.
roller coaster, bro. First of all, ain't nobody know
Yeah.
who till this day has invented Bitcoin, and they don't even put a face on it. They don't even. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong. It's like what crypto stands for. What is it? Decentralization.
Okay.
You know. But Bitcoin is like the
Yep.
cousin who
Yeah.
gets rich and goes broke every holiday season. So one tweet, one lawsuit, one government move, boom, value gone, bro. You need real cash flow, not imagination coin hype, bro. The third one I
Okay.
have is real estate, right? In this economy right
Yeah.
now, who's
Okay.
who's got 100,000 laying around to put down on a house right now to buy these properties?
Nobody.
Interest rates are freaking
Nobody.
sky high. It is, right?
Yeah.
Houses are overpriced.
Yeah.
And if you think buyers are interested in that, nah. They're buying debt, maintenance, taxes, and then the tenants' headaches. If you're trying to rent it out like an Airbnb, unless you got money, unless you have money. So what's the move? Should we invest in
Well,
ourselves or learn skills
Luz,
that print money,
look,
like coding, content, public speaking, business systems?
Luz,
You know what I'm saying? Is
Luz,
ah,
Luz. I would encourage you to continue to follow your passion, podcasts and all that. So my only advice, if you want the future, go
uh-huh.
long, you need to put money in a treasury bond. What I'm trying to say is, let's say you start a business, right?
Yeah.
Follow your passion. Do whatever you want, whatever it is. But if you make that extra cash, put it in investing. So there's
Absolutely.
three there's three choices. Real estate. I don't have do you have that money? 100,000 in your company?
No,
Probably
no.
not. S&P 500? Can you do that? Yes. You can buy S&P 500 for $5. Bitcoin? Can you buy Bitcoin as $5? Yes, you can. So the numbers, so you have to choose S&P 500 or Bitcoin. So as for right now, the fastest growing ChatGPT, the fastest growing assets right now, Bitcoin versus all of them, Bitcoin outperformed every single one of them since inception. Gold, silver, S&P 500, real estate, and all. You know why? We talked about this before. Go back to the history of hunter gatherers, or meaning when humans moving around as a tribe, let's say someone's, they use rare things to trade. What is money? What is money? It's like, okay, I come to you, I can exchange you a kalo, taro, or a fai, yeah. But you get to the point, we don't want to do that. We want something to exchange with. Like, okay, you know what? I'll give you rice stones, right? Also, right?
Yes.
Like, it's a medium of exchange, something that is rare to trade as a medium of exchange, which eventually humans came to silver and gold because you know why? Or diamonds because it's rare. But what happened is diamonds became so rare that people want to hold on to it. Became like what do you call it? Uh, what do you call that? When you hold diamond, it's reserve currency, something you hold on to appreciate. But then you go back to okay, are we educating our? I'm re-educating now. In 1971, the dollar detached from the gold. The You know what that means? There was a point of time that the $1 you hold, this fake dollar bill. Let me use this. A fake dollar bill, dollar, was attached to gold. Until 1971, they detached the gold from the dollar. You know why? Why?
Wiles. Wiles.
They print. So they print the dollar. The central bank prints dollar. They print. If you look it up, ChatGPT, how many dollars they print yearly? They print so many of them. You look at the debt dollars, it's so much of it. They keep printing it. And you know what's happening? Okay, I hate to practice to you, coconut heads. Your $100 in the bank in 5 years from now, yeah, it looks like $100. But you know what's happened? You go to the grocery store. You know what's gonna happen? It costs so much. It devalued your dollar. I need to say it. Whatever, everything is expensive. You won't see it when you have the $100, but you will see it when you go pay for gas, buy eggs, grocery store, and we complain. We complain about why is everything expensive. You know why? Because the central bank and the government print our money. They make so many of them. When they devalue our purchasing buying power, it devalue our dollar. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So you need to put your money in something that appreciate, that it goes up in value. Okay, what is the elites do? This is my question I said the last time. Okay, if they know the powerful people, they're printing money because obviously, let's say me and you, Kenny. Hey, Kenny, me and you are the most powerful people in the world. We have all the money. Well, you know what? Let's run the printer. Let's make money. Let's print as much as money. But you know what? We know how to play the game. You know what the game is, Kenny?
What is the game?
We reinvest. All the poor people, like us, I want people, and all the people, we go look for work and all that. You know what the rich people, the elites do? They take that money they print. Hey, you get their $1 million. You know what they do? They go buy more assets. They go buy more assets. They go buy more assets. What is an asset? S&P 500, real estate, like art, gold, and silver. That's the name of the game in this world. I hate to say it. And you know what they do? They borrow against it. Like, for example, you have a house. Those who own a house, you can borrow against your house. You can take that loan, buy a new house. That's investing, you know? And gold, GLD, ETFs. In the last few months, they appreciate skyrocketing. You know why? Because when they print the money, the gold goes up. So what do? You have a gold account, go ahead and margin, borrow against it. So Bitcoin, Bitcoin's outperforming. You can use Bitcoin and borrow against it. That's what I just did. I moved my Bitcoin to Coinbase and I borrowed against it. You know what? I use that loan. I buy more Bitcoin. So the name of the game is, according to Robert Kiyosaki, you buy assets, you get spending money. How do you get spending money? You go borrow against it. But if we save money in the cash, you know what? You're going to lose value. Your $100 is not going to worth anything in the next 5 to 10 years. Your $100 is going to worth like 50% of that when you go shopping. So we got to play the game. What's the game? Invest. So I know all of us, we like to buy new cars, clothes, and all that. Yeah, look good, what all that. Those are depreciating, you know, things. You want to invest, buy real estate. I don't have nothing against real estate. I'm a Bitcoiner. Buy Bitcoin. Buy gold. Buy like S&P 500. They go up in value, and that would bring your savings going up. That's all I'm saying. That's what. But you can do whatever you want. I'm just sharing you some of the nuggets I learned, and that's what I'm doing right now. Are you with me? Who's? Does
Yes, it
that make
was.
sense?
It
I'm just
makes
educating. It's just related to finance. And the name of the game, if you don't believe me, go read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. He talks about it all the time. The name of the game is they don't teach all of us is like, yeah, you go get a job, get a degree. You know what? I respect all of our coconut heads. They have a doctor's degree and all that. But you know what? If you don't put that money and buy assets, we're gonna be poor. Yeah, we can make money in like 100,000, 200,000, but if you invest in the for your kids, you'll be wealthy. Buy S&P 500. It's like keep it simple. Buy gold, S&P 500. You don't have to be a Bitcoiner like me, or buy real estate. Let it appreciate. And when you appreciate, borrow against it. Take that loan and
so.
go buy something else.
So what you're saying
Mhm.
is, what you're saying is, I'm gonna help you out. Like I said, I was playing devil advocate. Why
Mhm.
American dollars ain't worth anything no more?
Yes,
Because
everybody knows that. Yeah.
yeah, because it's like so like you were saying, like the printing, the U.S. government print money. Back in 2020 alone, America printed $3 trillion. That's not stimulus. That's economic
Yeah.
steroids. And here's the
Yes.
part that they don't tell us is when
Yeah.
more money gets printed, your money becomes worth less.
Yes.
And how does that work? It's called inflation is hidden
Yes.
in taxes.
Inflation. So what do
Yeah,
we complain about? What do we complain? Inflation? Why do we
because
complain about inflation?
everybody right now in America is complaining
Exactly.
about it because they're
So,
not talking about the money directly. They're just
mm,
quietly robbing us every time you buy groceries, pumping your
bingo,
gas, or try to take your family out for $100 dinner. That doesn't stretch
bingo.
because you don't have no investment back.
So think about what you said. They're robbing us.
Yeah.
Your hard-earned money. So
And then
what do you do?
you also
What do
talked
you do?
about gold, right? Because the dollar is
Yes,
built on confidence, but it's not built
yes,
on gold. So ever since we left the gold standards back in the 70s, the dollars
yes,
hasn't been backed. It hasn't been backed by anything real. It's
yes.
literally paper with a promise. So you should ask ourselves, you should ask you, coconuts, what happens
Coconut.
when the world stops believing in that promises? What happens if we
Yes.
do? So
Why
countries are,
use, man?
yeah, you're right, bro. I mean, you
I
know,
mean,
it's also added to, how you have countries like China, Russia, Brazil. They're ditching us American dollars for trade deals. You
yes.
think,
As for right now, as
and it's
for right
not
now,
random.
they're
It's not
not random.
random.
They're
No,
all tied to the dollar. They're all tied to the dollar. Dollar is the most powerful currency right now, but they're starting to go away from the dollar because of that. So,
because the country
uh,
is losing trust in the system that we
yes,
once had and built. That that's a
right,
slow moving collapsion that's happening with the
right,
dollar globally, and you see that in Asia.
yeah, and that's what we can share. What the truth is to our coconut heads is invest, invest, buy gold. I'm a Bitcoiner. Buy property and let it appreciate, or buy gold, or buy S&P 500. It's so easy to start an account, buy a SPY, or you can buy gold, GLD. That's a great ETF. They appreciate. And you know what? You can liquidate it anytime. Like, for example, we have Falabella. In a year from now, my gold ETF appreciate. I just go and liquidate it, take that money back, and pay for the Falabella. So all I'm saying is, if you leave your money in the bank just sitting there, it's devaluing. It's losing value unless you put it in somewhere that appreciates. And the reason why I preach Bitcoin because it's the best performing asset. They outperform gold, S&P 500, and real estate. And many people, like my brother is a real estate person. I don't see any sense. I know real estate people get mad at me. Like, I rather put all my money in Bitcoin because it appreciate better. Then I'll borrow that money. I'll go rent a place.
Well,
But that's just me.
a lot of businesses are no longer. Ever since the wave of Amazon.com, where you're shopping online, that put a hinder on a lot of real estate because now you
Yeah.
ain't got to buy no more properties to sell products. Or
Yes.
that's, real estate game is more into, like, if you're a person that has real estate, you're best off buying properties where you can build factories and warehouses because that's where companies and corporations are going towards versus
Yes.
buying properties for apartments. I mean, those are probably the only beneficial thing nowadays is buying big, high towers and making those into apartment complex. And also, like I said, warehouses, because now a lot of us in America are not even driving to grocery stores, and we're getting stuff ordered now. That's
Yeah.
that's the
Exactly.
trend now. Groceries. Whoever thought that you can actually order groceries, bro? Like
Yeah.
that's that's something new.
Uh,
You know,
right. So everything is changing. So I'm just sharing, knowledge to our coconut heads related to that, how to make your capital or assets to appreciate at the same time. The last time we talked about it was ETFs. If you want to replace your income, buy high yield ETFs like what we talked about. Misty, Yeah, but those are income, not Bitcoin on S&P 500 that appreciate. Those are a paycheck. So
I like how you painted the picture of like there's different things of how you invest in these stuff. Like if you're somebody that's trying to make money right now, then ETF is the way to go. If you're somebody that
yes,
wants to invest and save money and then pull out within maybe 5 years or up, then
yes,
Bitcoin is the way to go. And if you're somebody that or S&P 500, stuff like that. Why don't
yes,
you break
that's
that
right.
down to us? Share with us that one, bro.
Yeah, and that's it. So there's different way how to go about it. If you want to make money right now, like I need something to replace my income, ETFs.
You
They're
gotta stop the share though, by the way, because that's why the screen's like
oh
that.
okay.
There you go.
But you can change it up. But yes, um, if you want the paycheck, want something to replace your man, what is this? I don't know how to. Okay, there it is. If you want something to replace your paycheck, ETFs, high income, high income like ETFs. I mean, I share with you like high yield, or my favorite one is JEPQ. They appreciate those are the one that replace your paychecks. But if you want something for the future that appreciate and will beat your income, go for S&P 500, gold, and Bitcoin. Bitcoin outperforms all of them. But if you want to save traditionally, S&P 500, SPY or VOO, that's fine. Just buy it every week, dollar cost average, or every month. And in 5 to 10 years, it will outperform your income, outperform the ETFs, outperform our jobs. That's the bottom line. And it will beat the inflation. Like you read, inflation, right? We complain, why are things are expensive? You know what? Put your money, savings in that, and it will go up. And you can pull it up in the future. Pull it out in the future. So that's all I'm saying.
And just to close it out, let's stop lying to ourselves, people. Saving money the old ways is no longer smart. It's outdated. It's
Yes.
like your grandma's advice it worked back then, but we are not in a 1965 anymore, people. We're in a world where inflation, digital assets, global markets, and 24/7 economic shifts the same. Put it in a savings account and let it grow mindset. That'll keep you broke.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Let's do the math. Averaging savings account interest is 0.5% to 1%. Average inflation rate right now is about 3 to 6%. So that means your
Mm.
money is shrinking just by sitting in a bank. It's like pouring a glass of water into a bucket with holes. Your savings, but your buying power is disappearing. So, with that said, they told you that saving equals security. That's a false hope. In today's world, cash is not king, cash flow is. What's smart today is multiplying money, not just guarding it. Old school saying, stack it, wait. New school wealth says, invest and grow. You could save 20K over 10 years or invest it and possibly double or triple it right away. Jay Beard is doing that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And I
And
always tell my listeners, Zeus, like, and people that subscribe and also, that I'm able to advise, how did you get the White House podcast up and flowing, this engine running for the past year and a half now? Get involved with AI. Everybody's talking about the auto rich, all these successful corporations are partnering up with AI. If you're somebody that's not in tune with AI and you're still in a doubt, you're going to
right.
be left behind and you're going to be broke.
Yes, I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah.
I agree. And just to close it out, Us, like I was showing you earlier, um, if those who would like to talk to us like face to face and privately, let us know. We'll probably charge for a fee based on your Kenny Mofanua or YUs. At the same time, I trade options, and for those who want to learn about advanced trading, that's what I do for a living. So, but please let Kenny know, and we can set something up. We're there to finance.
Yeah, man, get on the train right now. Get on the train right now, listeners, because as we've been on this, and we're going to continue to go with you or without you. It's probably be the smart thing to invest with the YOs, man. Thank you for your time, Uso, for getting on, J Big. It's been a while. Fully
Yes, sir.
informative conversation from religion to investment. It's amazing how that thing all
Wow.
lines up, yo. That there's a reason.
Right.
It comes with belief. Because one thing you do have to believe. Because if you don't believe in what you're doing, whether it's investing, whether it's working, whether it's chasing your dreams, your happiness, you're never gonna get far. You're gonna be unhappy.
Exactly.
You're gonna be buried 6 feet below without nothing. So
Absolutely.
that's what I got, man. You got anything else before we end this live, bro?
No, I know. I didn't realize we talked for almost 2 hours. For philosophy, religion, all that, and now to finance. But hey, you know what? I just want to share, like I said, to share free content to our YUs and help our YUs to get ahead, in this system. And that's how it is. Just
There
want
you
to
go, man. Yeah. And to end our live episode tonight or today, I always want to leave you guys with a motivational post. And that's from Queen, man. If you find yourself stuck in this world, confused, heartbroken, tune into the YOs. We'll help make your day bright or brighten up your day. Yafa, I'm Kenny Mofanua.
let's go.
Adios. You like the exit? Look at that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pretty good.
So it just plays it off and I can just hit it. But don't hang up yet because it's going to show you something at the end.
Okay.
Mouse. There. So it stopped the recording.